All right, I'm recording. Probably should turn this down though. I'm so freaking loud. All right, I'm recording still.
Wait, you said you're loud?
Yeah.
I'm glad you said it.
I was talking to someone on Bumble today, and they were like, I'm just very soft-spoken. I have a lot of anxiety. And I'm like, are you gonna like me? I feel like that's like, I don't know. Do quiet and anxious people like loud people, or is it like too much? I think it depends, right?
Okay. So if you're talking about people as in animals, like I like to refer myself like I'm a cat. Like
You're a cougar?
Well, no, I'm not a cougar.
I said
no,
a cougar.
No, I'm a cat as in I am easily scared off.
Yeah.
You know, I like my own space.
You don't trust people.
No, don't trust
people. You like your
people.
own space.
Yeah.
You're your own world.
Yes.
You're in top of the power structure.
Yes. But, slinky, never know where I am. Very quiet most of the time, unless I'm on stage, obviously.
Yeah.
But that's the Leo part of me. But really, I feel like a house cat. But then there are people out there who they're a dog. They're like, they are very hyper. They love attention. They love cuddling. They want to always be going somewhere. So in dating world, like you're either a dog or a cat. And this person that you're talking to sounds like a cat.
Doesn't sound like a cat. They sound like a mouse who like is in the house, but like does not want to be Faust.
Needs to be deloused. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm clearly, in that metaphor, I'm clearly a dog.
Yes.
But like, I sometimes have my cat moments. Like, I sometimes like to get home and like shut the world off.
Yeah.
And just,
But think about a dog after he's had a long day at the beach, like, and then lay down and sleep. That's you. You've run yourself into the ground. You've played fetch all day. You've been here, been there, been everywhere.
Dogs' assholes all day.
Well, I mean,
that's what they do.
To each their own.
To each their own.
Yeah. To each.
And I have been called a bitch. So you're right. This is lining up pretty well.
Definitely. Yeah.
So do cats and dogs? Okay. So I love this. Let's just dive into this metaphor. What a great cold open. Excellent.
Yeah. Right.
Let's dive into this. So, can a cat and a dog date, or is it like cat, dog? Like
it all depends. Like I could see myself dating a dog because like
a Saint Bernard, or
like a Saint Bernard, like something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone who's very the party planner.
Yeah.
Like because I'll tag along. If So I could see myself getting involved in all sorts of things because I dated some guy who was in hockey, and I'm like, yeah, I could maybe see myself, playing hockey.
What?
I don't know. I like ice. I like ice skating, but anyway,
you just want to be Tanya Harding.
True, I do want to beat a bitch with a bat. So yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm Nancy Ann Kerrigan over here.
Yeah, Nancy Kerrigan. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because I would say I could totally date a cat who had dog qualities. Who I couldn't date? The worst types of dogs, like a Chihuahua.
Yes,
like those, and we all have a Chihuahua in our life, and like you love like the little interactions you have with a Chihuahua.
Yes.
But like I feel like how do people date Chihuahuas? Because those are the kind of people that are like all day, every day.
Mm-hmm. I know a bar where they only have Chihuahuas.
Wait, really?
That's the bar.
Where's this at?
No, I always feel like there's always those Chihuahuas.
Oh, I thought you meant there was actually
like
a gay
whenever.
bar.
No.
I was like, does Shake have competition?
No, that's what I'm referring to. But yeah, yeah. But I just all the energy I'm feeling is Chihuahua. They're showy, loud, obnoxious.
Yeah.
Like
I would say I'm a Labrador.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or I don't know. Do I not lack the awareness of what dog I am?
No, I think you do. No, I think you're a Labrador.
I'd say Labrador.
Trustworthy.
Just like very like jovial, but like if I need to be serious, I'll be serious. Like I will.
Right. Yeah.
Like I had an incident at work this week. This is a little off topic where I had to get serious at a meeting, and some people after the meeting complained to HR that my tone was too harsh. And I said, I think the reason you think my tone is too harsh is because I'm usually Labrador Retriever energy. I'm very happy and jovial. So when I have to be serious, I think people are very like, whoa, because
Yeah.
they're not used to it. But it doesn't mean that the tone is, bad. It's
Right.
just different, and it sounds maybe harsher, more extreme than it is. I don't know.
I feel that. Yeah. Yeah. In general, I kind of feel the same, but as a cat, I feel like a house cat, maybe a black cat, because, very cute.
What about a lynx?
No lynx. No,
But
no.
like a liger.
No, lynx are very slinky. I don't think I'm slinky.
I think you're like sneaky light. Light sneak.
I'm like this cat right here with the primordial pouch. But yeah, you get on my wrong side and then the claws come out,
Yeah.
Like I start hissing and like run and go hide
This
somewhere.
is another off track, but you're gonna love it. I listened to a
Yeah.
podcast this week. Did you know in the 1800s, if you were at a theater performance, you could actually like hiss and boo? Well, they didn't even boo. They like hissed a lot. They're like, like if they didn't like something in the theater, and it was like part of going to the theater was like the audience could like interact with how they felt at any given time. Can you imagine if that was the case today?
I know.
Oh my god, you scared your actual cat with that. Imagine us going to perform and like we're doing our thing, and you just hear the hissing, and you're like, isn't that crazy?
Like
Anyway, cats and dogs.
it's on par with the comparison to main character and like part or quirky best friend.
Well, you know what's funny? I don't know. I should say good friend, but my friend Emily. Back when she lived in Cleveland, we were good friends. But you know how it is. People move.
Yeah.
Emily, we call ourselves Country Frog and City Dog. And can you guess who's the city dog in that friendship?
Would that be you?
Yes.
Okay.
She's Country Frog.
Why is she a frog?
Well, it was from a kid's book.
Country frog
And City Dog
and city dog?
has a little bit of a rhyme to it.
Never heard of it.
I think it's like the idea was like Country Frog loved to live in the country and was chill and like didn't really want to deal with people. And City Dog was in the city and just like lapping up attention.
Not Wind in the Willows.
What? What?
Wind in the Willows.
What's
It's a
that?
book. It's a book. It's about two frogs, right?
Okay.
Anyway.
That was a very long cold open. That was more of a tepid opening. That was
I know.
And welcome to Outdated with me, Matt Rebar.
And I'm Mikey Sowers.
And boy, oh boy, oh boy. Today is gonna... I've not been dreading, but I've been very anxious about this conversation because when we started this podcast, Mikey,
Yeah,
we
I
made
know.
one promise to everybody, which was we were going to be honest.
Yeah.
We were going to talk about these issues with honesty, as honest as we can be. Certain things, we weren't going to bring up or weren't going to talk about maybe, but for the most part, having these honest discussions, really taking a look not just at society, but at our dating lives, our romantic relationships, and let's just say this last week was a wild one. So before we get into what happened with me, because that might be the whole episode, Mikey, how's your dating life been?
Okay. So I
Got a message just now on Grindr.
just got a message. No, an email from Costco. Thank you so
Any good
much.
sales?
Junk. No. Yeah, I've been on 2 dates in the past couple weeks.
With two different people.
Two different people.
Okay.
I know. Look at me.
Good. That's
Progress.
That's like if you were like the Meta Research Analyst Center, you'd be like up 600% on dates.
Oh yeah, it's up 600%.
All right, tell us about guy one and date one.
Okay, so guy one, date one, recycled from when I moved up here. Recycled meaning we had matched on Tinder and we had been on a couple dates.
Oh,
So
okay.
and then
I thought
just
you meant he recycled on the first date, which I'm like, that's a
No.
good thing.
we went recycling. We brought our cans to this. I got
took you to
5
the
cents per
scrapyard.
can. I made $1. No, I matched with this person before a while back. I think we had a date or two, and then we just stopped communicating.
Yeah, it happens.
It happens, right?
Yeah.
So I was just curious. Went on a coffee date, and it was cool. It was nice. And then we went out again, and I ruin date 2 by getting so drunk all the time.
What?
This is like my problem.
Where are you going on date 2 that you're getting drunk?
No, we went to Bottle House Brewery, which is
Okay,
like
a brewery.
within walkering distance.
It's
What are you within
doing?
walkering
You're
distance.
walking with a cane. You're walkering.
Walkering. Yeah.
Okay, but here's the thing: you go to a brewery.
Yeah.
Were you having vodka at the brewery?
I was having tequila at the brewery.
Tequila at the brewery.
Always tequila. Yeah.
First of all, it sounds like a hit song. Tequila in the brewery.
I think it was Little Mix who sang that. No, so yeah, we had we got drinks. It was trivia night, so
And you got drunk
we were like,
at
no,
trivia
ma'am.
night at the brewery.
well, we started having drinks, and then trivia night came in. I was like, yeah, I'm not feeling it, so we left. By that time, I had had like 3 or 4 drinks.
How long was this date?
It was like an hour or 2.
4 drinks in an hour
Are you judging me?
on a date? Yes.
I know.
Listen, if we were out at
That's
Chick,
my problem.
I'd be like drink.
Yes,
but like
I know.
I feel like after 2 cocktails on a date, like
It's mindless. I keep drinking. I don't.
Is it because you're scared?
It's nervousness. It's like I just need something to do, so I keep drinking. Yeah.
Well, maybe have like a 5% seltzer next time, or then you could have 4 seltzers and you won't.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks. Post mortem. Thanks. No, but then we're like, okay, we don't want to do trivia night, so we went to a taco place right over
Barrio?
there. No, right across the street.
Tontos?
Yes.
Okay.
Had some great margaritas.
Very particular. You have to be from Cleveland to know these.
Well, I know, right? Yeah.
Our viewers from Sydney are like, "What the hell, mate?
Right.
Where are these places?" Okay.
What the hell?
So you moved over to the taco joint.
Yes, and then had 2 very strong
My
margaritas.
God, 6 drinks over 2 bars over 2.5, 3 hours.
Listen, we're talking about my date. This is not an intervention, okay?
No, listen. It's not the amount in general. It's the amount on a second date.
Yeah, I know.
Like to quote Carrie Underwood, like Jesus, take the wheel.
Well, tequila took the wheel, and he was very chatty and very nice, but he knew people at the restaurant.
Oh,
so
no.
It's like
that's a whole
I
thing,
just start I'm like so buzzed at this point, like I'm quiet because I'm just listening to their conversation.
Yeah.
So I probably was a horrible date. Yeah. But we came back here, we watched something on TV, like I maybe kissed him a couple times.
Is this a weekday night?
Listen. We are artists. What is this 9 to 5 bullshit? You don't need to.
Listen. I'm just surprised because I'm thinking to myself, it was trivia, so it had to be a weekday night. It was a Monday through Thursday, probably around 7 that you left there. You got to Tonto's, which means you probably got here at like 8:15, 8:30. That's late for a date in Cleveland.
Well,
on a weekday.
That's true. Yeah.
I'm just impressed. I'm impressed.
You're impressed.
Okay.
Right.
Came over. You're blacked out at this point.
Well, not blacked out, but I was very, very happy, we'll say. But then, and then, like, I went to the kitchen and I came back and he was laying down and I kissed him. I'm like, I hope that was okay.
Yeah.
But then the night ended.
Right after that?
Well, no, not immediately. I'm breezing through this because it was.
Gotcha.
Anyway, there was nothing there. Like, there's no chemistry. Ugh. I think I was just going through the motions. I'm like, so my initial thought of I should not be recycling people is correct. Mm-hmm. There is a reason why people don't talk after. Because if it's not, listen, it's that I talked to my therapist. He says, at least go on 3 dates or whatever.
Yeah.
And then But if we add it up, this is 4 dates.
Yeah.
Altogether. So now I'm definitely sure that I don't. Right.
I think it was okay to do the recycle where we went on a date or two and let me see how I refeel. Or, sometimes like I'm bad at this. I'll forget why I stopped talking to someone.
Yes.
And then something will happen where I'm like, oh yeah, they do this, or they said they say this, or they treat the wait staff like crap. They, they have this weird view about X, and like
they have a snaggletooth,
Yes, every date I have just snaggletooth city. But okay, so then the date 2 is with a different person.
We'll save that for later.
Oh, okay. Next episode, find out. Because Mikey's been going on.
Well, the date 2 said that he listened to the podcast.
Oh, no! Did he like it?
He listened to the first 2 episodes.
What did he say? What was the feedback?
It was good. Like, yeah, he enjoyed it, but...
He didn't think I was annoying?
No.
Okay, good.
No.
Okay.
But now I'm hesitant to talk about it because he might be listening.
You think he's catching up right now as we speak? He's looking at the back catalog?
Yeah. So we'll save it.
Okay, we'll save it. We'll save it.
Yeah. And what about you? This is
the story of a boy
who went to Idaho and dug a hole toy.
All right, so here's the DL. We have to do. Well, let's do the DLTR. What's TT?
Too long, didn't read.
Too long.
TLDR.
TLDR. Thank you. Met someone who we need a fake name. Kleenex, because I'm looking at your Kleenex. Met Kleenex. Oh, now it sounds like
Edwin.
Edwin. Is that from Final Fantasy or something? No. All right. Met Edwin over winter break. So this is May. So this was like 5-6 months ago.
Yeah.
We hung out like 4 times in a week, which I never do, yada, yada. Great connection. But although they're from where we are, they moved to Idaho. Not exactly Idaho, but for the purpose of this podcast, we're going to go with Idaho. Mm-hmm. And at the time, I didn't feel bad about it. I don't know. I think it was really nice to just have a connection and feel like you could actually have connections. Because, I mean, Mikey, you've probably experienced this. You go through like large swaths without any sort of connection.
Oh, yeah.
And you start to think, am I jaded? Have I become immune to any kind of human connection? Right?
Yes. Yeah.
So I think that's kind of what I liked the most, was just being able to think, okay, I'm not a sociopath. Mm-hmm. It's not me. It's just, it is what it is, right? So we talked a little bit. They're not good at texting. So we had some phone calls. And at this time period, like, we had not locked it down. We were not like dating. We were just kind of talking, whatever. Mm-hmm. And to be fair, we had that conversation where it's like, you go do your thing, I go do my thing. Like, if things happen, like, I get it. This whole time, I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't know. It didn't feel over. I didn't know how it would work. I don't know how it could work, but putting that aside.
Yeah.
Get to top April. And we have a phone call. And finally, I'm like, I will come visit Idaho. I will get that plane ticket to Idaho City, which is actually a real city, not just me saying Idaho City. Take me down to the Idaho City, where there's probably 10 people in the downtown district. Ooh. No? Don't get the song reference? No song reference over there.
No, I'm sorry. There's only 10 people in that city, but.
Anywho. Booked the ticket, which I think was like $250, whatever. And what's interesting then is, like, over the next about month and a half, like, the texting, the calls went really downhill really quickly.
Yeah.
And wasn't really thinking too much about it at the time. But then, remember, I got into that car accident.
Yes.
And that was awful.
Awful.
I mean, I survived, unfortunately. And unfortunately,
your car did not, but you did. Yes.
And unfortunately, it wasn't like, the city bus hit me and I could sue, $1 million for the city. So I remember Idaho, Edwin texted me like, how are you? And I like sent a text. This was like a couple days after. I'm like, it's just been hell week. Like, I got into a car accident and it's finals, blah, 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 for where I teach. And, we're opening a new exhibition. No response in that text. No call in that text.
Yeah.
And that felt weird to me because I'm like, I don't know, like, if you sent me a text where it was like, hey, I'm moving to Alaska. Hey, I got into an accident. Hey, I got engaged. Like, even if you couldn't follow up in that moment, like, wouldn't you follow up at some point soon, whether it's texting or calling or like, hey, congratulations. Oh my God, what? Like, you need to tell, I need to hear more about this. So that felt weird, right? Mm-hmm. So finally going into, this was last week. So I was supposed to get on a plane the day this podcast comes out. So I'm supposed to go through Delta, and I actually haven't flown Delta. So, it was going to be fun for that, I guess. Anyway, get a message last week. Hey, are you still planning to come up? And I was like, oh, I don't love that phrasing because it's very like,
I bought the ticket. You knew I bought the ticket. So why are you asking me if I'm still planning to come?
Well, it's kind of like when you say, hey, do you want to do lunch? And someone goes, well, sure, if you want to. You're right. And you're
Yeah,
like, okay, then
like,
you don't want to do lunch, right?
No,
Like,
I don't.
You know,
I don't want to do
I hate
it.
that language where it's like, I don't know. Like, I'd rather you say yes because you want to, or no because you don't want to, or you can't. Whatever. Like,
Yes.
I don't know. I hate the weird language where it's like, you know. And I go, well, yeah, like I'm still planning. And then they're like, well, some developments have come up. Which my first thought, Mikey, I kid you not, my first thought was, oh f. They're talking to someone. They found someone locally that they want to date. Mm-hmm. Because what else does development mean? I mean, let's be real. Like
some development
building. Like they're building a new apartment right. in Idaho. Like
I'm pregnant. So yeah, developments.
I moved from Idaho City to Boise. I don't know.
No.
So, boom. I get hit with a text like 20 minutes later.
Yeah.
That says, yeah. And also, and this is where it's even worse. And also, my mom was going to come and visit me that weekend, so that means that you wouldn't have a lot of time to see me. Pause. Okay, because there's like 5 things here that I can't handle. All right. First one, I get it. I really do get it. We had never signed a contract. Like we weren't together. I think both of us were very clear. Like, do not hold each other back. And at that point going into that trip, I was getting a little worried in the sense of, what happens if I go and it's a great time? What happens if I go and it's like, do I really want to uproot? And for me, it's not like I'm uprooting as a dandelion. I would be uprooting my life like an oak tree. Yeah. Here where I live, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I do so many things in the community. Yeah. Very involved. I have so many projects going on. I have so many deep friendships and family members, So I was getting nervous about like, what will that mean? Mm-hmm. And honestly, for the long time, I was prepared for it to mean it just can't work, right? Like you have a business in Idaho City. I have my businesses here in Cleveland, right? Like long distance is just not like, it's one thing to be like an hour away. But it's one thing to be hours and hours away like that, right? So I got that. I really did. But then what I didn't get was like, I don't know. I guess I get that your mom wants to visit you, but like if you have these plans, like tell mom, like pick it on a weekend. I don't know. It felt like kind of weird. I don't know. Yeah. And I'm a mama's boy. Like don't get me wrong, but like if my mom was like, God forbid I live somewhere and like, Mom, I have plans this weekend. Like I'll still love to see you if you decide to come, but like I'm hosting somebody, and that's the big thing. It wasn't like I was staying in the hotel. I was staying at their place. Ugh. So like the idea of like, I don't know how much time you'll have to see me. It's like, what do you mean? Like, am I not? So now if I wanted to come, like clearly it sounds like you don't want me to stay with you, which like the whole trip was me like staying with you. And of course, like I don't want to stay with you, even if you were like, no, come stay with me, even if you can't see me. Like we don't have that kind of dynamic. Yeah. And then you have this new boo and you got mom visiting. Like, like no, I just responded and I was like, no, I'm just gonna cancel the trip. Yeah. Got no response on that. Well, nothing. And that to me was like the worst of it because like I get things happen. I don't like. It is what it is. Like mom comes up or mom's demands come up, whatever. Like I get if you can't really properly host me now that you have this new boo or whatever. But like no response to say, hey, like. I'm really sorry, or like, hey, like, I still respect you. I'd like to stay friends. No, like, here's half the plane ticket. Like, here's $100 for the plane ticket that you're out of. Like, hey, like, I don't know. Like, I didn't expect a lot of closure because there wasn't a need for a lot of closure. But to have it end on me going, I'm gonna cancel the flight with no like. Any kind of, I don't know, any response to that. And I don't know, what do you say to that? Right? Like, especially if like the connection was true and you felt that way. And, I had never booked as much as a train ticket locally on the bus line for somebody. Right. So it's like, I don't know. I felt like really let down by that. Mm-hmm. And it was funny because like early on, I really felt like this was a person like that I could be friends with, that I would want to stay connected to.
Yeah.
And it really brought me back to square zero. Like, I don't even know if I know this person.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't know. I just, no response, no closure, no, like, something, just anything, like an apology.
Right.
Like, and not that I necessarily think I need an apology, but, like, I don't know. It kind of feels cold. It feels very, I don't know. What do you think? You tell me.
So I need a little bit of clarification. So it was a very hot and passionate week or so, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and you exchanged phone numbers and you knew you were into each other. So,
and the phone calls were, for the most part, pretty good too. I mean, like
yes, once he left and went back to wherever he's from, Idaho. The conversations were continuing. Were you Skyping? Were you calling? Were you texting? It was
mostly calls. He's not a good texter.
Okay.
And, I'm not the best texter either, but really the only way to kind of get some kind of communication was through a call, for sure.
Okay. Well, I call bullshit on that, because if you're into somebody, you're going to figure out, because they're going to be on your mind. And I get that most people have a lot of their life going on and they have responsibilities, but it takes 30 seconds to type a text, even just a response, in the 24 hours in a day. It doesn't even matter. Like, anyway, that's my.
Well, here's the thing. I don't mind, like, if someone's, and he was very straight up. Like, he's like, I'm not that good at texting, and I appreciate that. Like, I'd rather someone be clear about their communication styles than not clear, right? Like, so I was totally fine with the lack of texts, because I knew, like, hey, we're having these phone calls. You know what I mean? So, like, that to me was fine. But
okay.
Also, we weren't dating, so, like, I don't know.
I get that, but this is what reads to me. Yeah. I'm not good at texting means that everything that I have going on is more important than you. That's what that means. And that's, like, kind of, at the
same time,
by saying that to someone, that means I'm not going to commit any time or dedication to you.
Yeah, but, like, I'm bad at texting. We had some passionate dates while he was in town, and we had a connection, whatever that means, right? But, like, I don't know. I don't think I'm owed, like, that text time. At least not yet. You know what I mean? Like, I think if we were, if he obviously, like, if he was local, like, and I stand by this, like, if he was local, like, we probably would have been dating a month later, but, like, obviously not local, right? So it's like,
right. I don't feel like they were respectful of your time. I just don't feel like it.
You know what? Maybe it's interesting that you say that, because, like, I don't feel that way at all, and maybe it's just the way that I devalue myself.
No.
Or maybe the way that I don't.
The way that you're portraying this weekend, if it was meaningless and if it was just for sex, then it would be just for sex. And whatever, this back and forth is fine.
Yeah.
But if you were talking and then there were plans to meet up and he was going to host and he was excited for it.
Yeah.
What happened from there to there? Unless he was just leading you on from the beginning.
No, I genuinely think someone, because I can tell you there was definitely a shift, and it was probably the top of May towards the end of April. I bet he met someone by chance, and, like, that was where the texting and the calls and whatever. And of course, you live locally. That's where you're seeing someone. So, like, I can't compare, right? We couldn't compare to someone who's, like, local. Like, no matter who, if it's long distance, right? So it's like, and it was just funny because, like, we all say those things, right? Where he's like, oh, there's no one local that, like, like, there's no one here that I am into, and blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like there should have been communication. Even, like, if he had met someone, had, like, 2 or 3 dates, probably should have just told me, like, hey.
Absolutely.
Like, I feel like it was waited till, like, the last second. And I don't know if that's because, like, really maybe it was a whirlwind and it happened last second. Or, maybe it was like, I don't know how to break the news, and I got to break the news. Either way, I don't know. Part of me is just like, but then why are you not texting? I don't know. I feel like I'm owed a bit more context too.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I'm not owed that. And that's, like, kind of part of, like, the modern dating dilemma is, like, there's like this camp that thinks you're not owed any closure, you're not owed context, you're not owed any reason, and the vice versa, where it's like, no, you're owed that closure, that reason, that context. And I kind of fall in the middle. I think it really depends case by case, because sometimes it's like, we have to accept that we cannot ever fully get closure from everybody, right? There are just people who are gonna like, goodbye, and they're gone.
That's fine. But camp 1 is the thrills and self-absorbed, just looking for consumption of everything.
Yeah.
It's cheap. It doesn't take into account other people's feelings. Mm-hmm. It's very self-centered. If you feel you're owed something, then you're owed it. If you feel like you were hurt or wronged in some way, you deserve it. You're not owed anything in life. But if it hurt and someone didn't do the time or respect to give that to you, that's not fair.
But I should clarify too, like, I'm not seeking like a retribution. I'm not
no, and you don't have to.
Like, I was really just seeking like a small paragraph.
Yes.
After I say I'm canceling this trip.
Yes.
I'm canceling this trip that like we both agreed that I would do. You had talked about like, oh, we could do other trips together, like maybe we go on a vacation together, like, and we all say stuff that maybe we meet at the time that doesn't become true, but like, I feel like I was owed 3, 4, 5 sentences. I don't know.
You were owed that.
I think I was
absolutely.
I don't think I was owed much else, because we were not dating, we were not exclusive. We both had agreed, like, do you, if something happens, like it happens.
It does not matter. You were put out. I mean,
and let's be real. Am I going to move to the middle of
No, absolutely
Idaho?
not. But you were owed. Listen, I met some.
There's 2.7 million people in Cleveland.
I'm so
How
sorry.
am I going to go from that to like 10 people in Idaho City?
I'm so sorry. I met someone else. It'd probably be best if you didn't come. That's what you were owed. That's nothing. That's like, 3 sentences.
Yeah.
That's an apology, and that's explaining their behavior.
Also, $100 for my airfare would have been great too.
Yeah, it would have been nice.
I think I would have done that
because they both agreed. You both agreed.
Oh, yeah, like I scheduled it. I'm
excited. I can't wait for you to come. Yeah, I'm coming. I bought the plane ticket. Great. I can't wait. We'll plan to do this. You were out. You were put out. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So he did you wrong, girl.
I know.
He did you wrong, girl.
I know. I debated if I should like unfriend them and like.
You don't. Tough. No, they don't deserve that.
To be unfriended?
Yes. No, they don't deserve that. You stay friends. Because
it's hard right now. It's really hard because I'm very salty.
Yeah.
I'm not salty that it didn't work out because like I get why it didn't work out. Trust me. I'm just salty that like I don't know. I just expected a bit more respect.
Yes.
I expected a bit more.
And you don't want to be with someone who's not going to give you that. So there you go.
So I am suing the entire state of Idaho.
Yeah.
Taking it to the Supreme Court of Love. Your Honor. My Southern lawyer character's coming out.
I hope they get a famine.
Your Honor, my client was owed 3 to 5 sentences in a text about what happened. And there was no text.
Objection. They met each other for a week.
But Mikey, 4 dates in a week. I've never done that.
No, that's a whirlwind.
It's a whirlwind.
That's a dalliance.
Oh, I think you inspired me for a song. Whirlwind Dalliance coming this fall, featuring Mikey.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, that is. Whew. I will say though, you know what? This year is still better dating than last year. Last year was the worst year on record. So.
Last year, yeah, I didn't have a lot of dates last year. I don't think. I had, maybe 2. One was a really horrible person. I don't remember if I ever talked about this guy.
Well, we got some time.
Okay,
shoot
yeah.
The breeze.
This is from the trenches, both of us.
I mean, shoot. Did
we talk about the teacher I met?
I'm gonna say no.
Okay,
Your Honor.
So I met this dude. We matched on Tinder, I think.
Okay.
Or Grinder or something.
One of the Ers.
But we met up and we went to Mahal's and we had a drink together. Mm-hmm. I was showing my age totally because I used the R word when you're talking about somebody with mental disability.
Oh no,
no,
Mikey.
I was ordering something from the bar and I couldn't remember the name of the drink, and I said, "I'm so sorry.
I'm blank.
I sound like a blank right now." And he's like, "What?" Yeah. So that was great, but we hit it off. Like it was a good date, and we had a couple drinks, and then he had to work in the morning, so it was fine, and we parted ways, and we had a kiss, and then said goodnight, and then he texted me when he got home, like, "I really like you."
Okay.
And that's like, what?
What?
Response? A response?
A text?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so great. I was excited. So I met someone and I was into them. And yeah. So then a couple nights later, I think it was Friday, he's like, "Yeah, I'm out with we were just talking. He was at happy hour with his friends after work, and we were just kind of casually chatting. And I was just at home, and it was probably around 9. I said, "What are you up to?" He's like, "Oh, well, me and my friends went to Shake." I'm like, "Well, I should come over."
Yeah.
He's like, "Really? You want to meet my friends?" I'm like, "Yeah, what's the big deal? Whatever." No, it was fine. So I went, and we had a great time. Like, we drank, we had fun. I met his friends, and they're great, whatever. And then I drove them back to his place, and I should have gone home after that, but I didn't. So I stayed, and we were both, a little tipsy, and we got into bed, and we got a little naked.
Wait a minute. I think I remember this story.
Did I mention it on the podcast?
I don't know, but I remember the story. Now that we got here, because I'm like waiting for the ball to drop. So I'm like, I think I remember where this goes. Okay.
So we get into bed, and this is where the roles come into play, where he's very, very aggressive with me in bed naked, and I am not a bottom. So I'm like feeling very uncomfortable at this point because I'm like, yeah, this is not it. And then I mention that I'm a side.
Yeah.
And and I was probably a little too drunk, but his reaction to me saying I've never topped or bottom was kind of off-putting. So when you're naked in bed with someone, you don't want someone to give you the face that he gave you.
No.
You know what I mean? So I felt this rush of shame, when we're talking about Brene Brown, that shame. Anyway, felt horrible.
Yeah.
Just wanted to peace out and get out of there. I was so embarrassed. And then he's like, "Well, do you like to give head?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's fine, but I'm
over it. Like,
your dick was rubbing up against my butt," and then he gives me that look. He's like, "Whatever, it's clean." I'm like, I'm like, I don't feel comfortable with this. I'm
but
leaving.
also like that's a boundary. Like there are some people who like would be fine with that, but like if you're like, dude, go just like wash your dick in the sink. Like
no, I know.
All you had to do.
Yes, but I'm not comfortable with any sort of ass
but also
play.
at that point, you're like, why would I want to do anything?
No, why do I want to do anything right now?
I'm getting out of here. Yeah,
but I left feeling so hurt and shamed. Like I was distraught for days because I really was into this guy.
Yeah,
and I left feeling like a complete failure. So yeah, over the past year, I've been working through shit, but that was horrible. Like I was so into him, and kind of like I've kind of talked to him a couple times recently.
Why?
I don't know why, because I'm into him. I was hot for him, and he has no idea. He has no idea, but he probably messes around with multiple people. I'm guessing, and I'm thinking he's in a relationship now, but it's none of my business. Whatever.
Yeah.
But I think he's a playboy.
I mean, you can just tell there's certain people that have that energy about them.
This guy, if you met him, energy, playboy. Absolutely.
Another song title.
Absolutely. Yes. But yeah, it hurt me.
Yeah.
Really did. So,
And, you know, it's one of those things where, like, getting hurt is part of the game.
yes.
You know, it is part of the game, but how we treat people when we have to hurt them.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
So,
sure, a lot of it was my shit. Like, stuff I needed to process.
Yeah.
But I'm in a great place now. So, yeah. Anyway. So that was that story from the trench.
These are some trench stories.
They're yeah.
Well, would you like to give us, to close out the show, would you like to give us a pickup line?
I would love to give you a pickup line.
Oh, yes, you are.
Let's see. You know what? You know what, Matt? You look cold. You look so cold. You know it'd be fun if you could just use me as your blanket. That's
That's
very
worked
good.
on people. That's definitely worked on people.
You look so cold. You want to use me as your blanket? Horrible.
See, that could be taken very sexually.
It sure could.
Yeah, it could be. Well, after such a scathing day, shall we end with a dating affirmation?
Affirm me.
I release any past hurts or disappointments. Release them!
Yes, yes, Lord.
And open my heart to new and positive experiences in love.
Oh, I hope that's true.
I hope it's true.
Yeah. We can't settle anymore.
I'm done. I'm done settling.
Settling, people not respecting our time. We're just done. All right.
We should do an episode called Grievances and just every single grievance that we've talked about.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for listening to Outdated. You can find more at StarVoltStudios.com, at StarVoltStudios, or my personal accounts at Reebstar, HRIBSTAR, on Instagram, TikTok, X, all the places.
And I'm Mikey_Sowers on Instagram and currently playing games on Twitch, which I still need to set up. Yeah.
And if you want to be on the show, you have questions, comments, concerns, input, whatever that looks like, feel free to DM, shoot us a message. We love to hear from you. So, all right.
All right.
Peace out.
Bye.